And good morning. Welcome to the Out and About Show on 1590 KVGB. Focus on Stafford County today. Steve Webster, your host, joined in studio today by Carolyn Dunn, Stafford County Economic Development Director. Also will be joined today by Lorna Moore. She is Creating Assets, Savings, and Hope Director. We'll tell you about this organization, and Lorna's office is in Hutchinson. She's got some exciting news to pass along today, and we'll let you know what that organization does and what they are doing. Carolyn Dunn coming in here with, how fast did you drive to get here? I mean, this is, I'm glad.
I can't incriminate myself on the radio.
Well, we're glad. I mean, if hair was actually on fire, yours would be on fire right now. I mean, but we're glad we're glad you're here.
Well, thanks.
We want to certainly talk to Lorna today, but it's been an interesting week for us, Stafford County, and of course in the news and the disappointing news that the community's only grocery store in St. John is leaving, with Dillons out of there by next Saturday, I believe, right?
Right. I think it's February 6th.
Yeah. So I guess.
It's a huge disappointment. We often talk about those things that we work to maintain in these small towns are your school and your grocery store. And so it's a critical element that we're now trying to figure out what plan B is. You know, we understand that they've made a choice, and that's fine. But our goal now is to try to figure out the best way to maintain some type of grocery presence in our town, because it does have a huge ripple effect. So
it would have been nice, though, because this just came out. Did it come out of left field? Did anyone have any idea this was coming?
And they didn't talk with anyone locally before they made the decision.
And said it's closed in 2 weeks. Is that basically
right?
Yeah, okay,
right. So our plan B is to try to figure out a way that we can work with them to keep equipment there, so that we can again figure out the next step of a different operator of some sort that can be there. So we're hopeful that they'll work with us on maintaining equipment there, and be flexible with the lease so that they don't tie it up so that somebody else can't come in there. I hope that they'll be good to our community, because what we don't want to see is them, being rough in a way that just kind of really undermines our ability to maintain any type of grocery presence. I mean, realistically speaking, they probably are going to get a lot of business one way or the other, but I don't think that the amount of business that they're going to lose by us having some type of grocery presence is really going to impact Kroger Corporation too much. So I, again, hope that they are friendly in their discussions with us on trying to maintain a plan B.
Carolyn, you've been in discussions with Kroger officials, right? I mean, how's that gone? Is it as good, bad, sort of?
It remains to be seen.
Okay.
They are talking with us, so I'm hopeful that we'll have a good outcome here that is reasonable for our community and for them too. I mean, I respect that they are a corporation that has to make money, but I hope they can also understand the value to them as a good corporate citizen in not undermining our ability to maintain our community long term.
Seems like Dillons has been in St. John for a long, long time. And did food sales just go in the tank, or is this? I mean, obviously profit is one of the reasons, but is that what they're telling you too?
Yeah, I think I'm not privy to a lot of the sales data.
But I guess we know that's happened, right?
Right.
So I guess the next step forward is moving forward with this. What role do you see for Stafford County Economic Development, your office, involved in trying to find a solution to this now, Carolyn?
Well, I think the first thing is whatever presence we have there needs to have a building and equipment. And we're starting. This is essentially a startup business. This isn't a business transition. This is a startup. So we'll be trying to reduce the barriers to getting that started up. And so the big costs are, a lot of that is related to the building and equipment itself. Really, probably even more the equipment. The cost of the building has really been very low, and the building's owned by the International Association of Oddfellows. I don't know if people know that, but our local Oddfellows Lodge owns the building, and I think has been trying to make it a very reasonable thing for business to be there by having very, very reasonable rent. And I think they'll work with us to continue that. The issue probably now is more the idea of keeping fixtures there so that it's easy to move in. And then
what do you mean by fixtures?
Fixtures, the shelves, the coolers, the freezers, the checkout lanes, those are probably the big ones. Starting all that from scratch, that wouldn't be easy to find and locate that stuff, let alone the cost of it. So, the old stuff probably has pretty negligible value to a corporation that's probably more focused on newer stores. So we hope that we can find a reasonable thing for them to agree to in leaving that equipment there.
Who's impacted the most by this, at least right now in the short term? And would it be the elderly population in the community?
There's a lot of focus on that. Those that have more difficulty moving to, doing the driving and so forth to another store. There's a lot of, I think, concern about that for sure. Just has a ripple effect on a lot of things. I mean, home values, maintaining the enrollment in a school district. It just has a big ripple effect. I
know I'm not on the front line like you are in this, but I've seen what's happened in the last few years in Stafford County with you in charge of Stafford County Economic Development. I feel really positive that something is going to take place, and hopefully it does. But again, does this come down to when we say shop local, we really mean that, shop local?
Really mean it. In fact, one of the ideas I'm playing around with here is, and I don't know, we have a committee that's been established that's not yet met. We'll probably have a lot of ideas thrown out there, but I think the real issue in maintaining these grocery stores is not even like reducing the costs by a cheap building or something like that. It is really in what level of sales go through that store. And I've kind of played with the math, and it really does mean that every person needs to every family needs to spend about $400 a month, on average. And some people spend more, some people don't, but it takes that level of commitment to buying your things locally to really be able to pay for the cost of goods and the labor. Those are the big costs there. It's really not even in the long term. It's not in the building rent. It's in maintaining your the cost of, like I said, goods sold and labor. So maybe we'll play around with some ideas on how people's paid-in capital can help get the store started, but they would maybe get it back over time in a way that tracks their purchases there. Because we don't want people to be as excited about shopping locally 4 years from now as they are today when this crisis is here.
Sure. Okay, you were in Topeka, is that right?
I'm going next week.
Okay, and this is on a bill talking about shrinking the number of school districts in the state of Kansas.
Right, it's HB 2504, I believe. The Education Committee is having a hearing on that, and the proposal would be, they call it realignment, but it would force counties with less than 10,000 students to have one administration. So in our case, we'd have one superintendent that would report to 3 different school boards. And I think this would be...
Is that consolidation involved in that? They say there's not, but...
They don't use the word consolidation, but I think that's clearly what it's leading to over time.
Okay, just a few irons in the fire right now. I always start off this show by talking about, we say this is the program where we talk about all the great things happening in Stafford County. Maybe not so much today, that it'll come back, but we do want to give Lorna Moore some time here on the program. We're going to take a break, and kind of just before we take the break, kind of talk about Lorna's visit here today.
Yes. Well, when we think about all the things that we can do to build housing, that's one of the big emphases. Emphasize. One of the big things we've
rubbing
emphasized
off on you, aren't I?
Over the past few years is the idea that we need appealing housing, affordable housing to maintain our population, and there's lots of different ways to work on that. Interfaith Housing has some great programs that we can utilize in Stafford County to make housing more affordable for people and more improved, and we'd love to be taking more advantage of those programs in our county. Lorna can tell us all about that.
Okay, we'll do that coming up after this. It's Focus on Stafford County here on 1590 KVGB. Back after this.
Say goodbye to being just a number and say hello to something different. With money-saving rate plans, nationwide coverage, personalized local customer care, amazing community support, and unlimited talk, text, and data plans starting at just $60 per month, Nextec Wireless is the wireless company you've been looking for. Isn't it time you upgrade to a provider that vows to improve every aspect of your wireless experience? Nextec Wireless. Say hello to something different.
Sunflower Diversified Recycling offers confidential document shredding to meet both personal and business needs. Disposing of personally identifiable documents has become more important than ever, and Sunflower can ensure both the privacy and security of that information while it is waiting to be properly destroyed. For a nominal fee, we can handle most shredding tasks, large or small. Please contact Sarah at 792-1321 to discuss your specific need.
Welcome back to the Out and About show today, focused on Stafford County. Thanks for joining us. Carolyn Dunn is with us, and we mentioned Lorna Moore has made the trip to Great Bend today from Hutchinson. Creating Assets, Savings, and Hope Director. Lorna, welcome to Great Bend. Welcome to KVGB today. Kind of talk about this organization and what you do.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to be here. Creating Assets, Savings, and Hope is one of the programs of Interfaith Housing Services in Hutchinson. This one is really designed to help households develop and maintain a solid financial foundation. We do that by instilling in our clients four what we call a healthy financial habits. And the first of those is regulate their spending. You know, there's a difference between needs and wants. Just because you want it, that doesn't make it a need. And families really need to learn how to manage their finances and regulate spending. The second one is to manage their debt and leverage credit. We need credit, but you so easily can get buried in debt. Then it becomes a problem. So we help them get out of debt if they are deeply in debt, and then maintain a good credit history. We also talk about intentional savings. The only way that you can really reach those financial goals is to intentionally put money in savings on a regular basis, not just when you've got some left over, because a lot of times it's not there then. It's too late. So we talk about every month putting something away in savings. And then finally, making disciplined decisions. Just because big screen TVs are on sale next week because of the Super Bowl.
Got to have one. Come on.
No, that's not a good decision. So those are all the things that we work with as part of creating assets, savings, and hope. Now, within CASH, as we call it for short, there are 4 different programs. The first of those that we started back in 2008 is the Kansas Individual Development Account Program. This is a savings incentive designed to help low and moderate income households, first of all, get some financial education, learn about these 4 healthy habits, and then to open a savings account and make regular deposits into that account. When they've reached their savings goal, we match their savings 2 to 1. So a household that's wanting to buy a first home, they can save $3,250. We give them another $6,500, and they have $9,750 for down payment and closing costs.
Who's eligible for this program, Lorna?
Any household that has earned income. Now, earned income is from a job. Social Security, disability, those don't count for the Kansas IDA program. It must be a job. Their income has to fall below 200% of federal poverty. For example, a household of 4, that's $48,100 right now. Now, that will go up probably February. We'll get the new guidelines. But anyone that's income is below 200% of federal poverty.
Talk about your relationship with Carolyn and Stafford County and how this came about, and what are we trying to accomplish here?
We started the program in Stafford a few years ago, and we had some response. We had a student that used it for college, did a great job, but we believe there are probably more households in Stafford that can benefit from the program, and we're interested in getting back in the community and helping more families.
Carolyn, what do you like about this program the most?
well. I think that it's got a very straightforward. I mean, one of the things that I think people will tune into is that cash benefit. That it's certainly something they can see directly how they can utilize to achieve more of what they want to have in life. But what I really like about it is the idea that it's dealing with some of the fundamental habits that people can think about that help them be successful. So I don't know. Part of what reinitiated the conversations with Lorna recently is that some discussions our board had, kind of thinking to our upcoming year as we were kind of budgeting for the coming year. One of our board members said, I would just really like to see some type of program that addresses employability of people. Are there things that we could be teaching that helps them be more employable, and would that help our economy some? And so a lot of the things that Lorna's talking about in her home buyer education are really kind of dealing with that. And I think that there may have even been some other offerings developed by Interfaith Housing that dealt with healthy, inexpensive meal planning and things like that, right? I mean, they're just, I think, really very holistic in what they're offering to help people develop their own success. Including in housing.
Take control of your financial wellness, Lorna. Sessions for learning about financial independence. How does one get started with this?
That program is available to anyone. There is no income guidelines, no employment required at all. Anybody can take part in this. All they have to do is call our office. What we do with this program is we offer I believe it's a 4-hour class. We just did some in Larned. We'd love to do them in Stafford. Lacey goes to the community. She does the class. After that, anybody that took that class is eligible to do some coaching with her, and she works very extensively with them for a long period of time, or however long it takes, to get them on a solid, more secure financial situation. Then we work on getting them even into a better financial situation.
How long does it take to complete the program, or does it vary?
The Take Control program, the class, like I said, is about 4 hours, and then the coaching is dependent on the households. The IDA program, households that are wanting to participate in this have to agree to save for 6 months. And, absolutely, we want them to get their asset, buy their first home, go to college, start their business as soon as possible. But we want them to stay in the program 6 months because of that intentional savings. You've got to get in the habit of doing that. So that then, even after they graduate from our program, they buy their asset, they're in the habit, and they continue to save regularly.
This is going to be a great day for learning on the program because we have Lorna in here first. Dave Ramsey runs from 1 to 4 today, so and he's talking budget all the time. Is that something you can help people with as well?
Absolutely. All of our clients, they do an initial financial education class, and then they do one-on-one budget counseling and credit counseling with one of our coordinators.
That's great. It's always a fun time, the first part of the month, Carolyn, when I get my envelope of cash from my beautiful wife, and there it is. That's what I have to spend the rest of the month. But yes?
I was just thinking that there's another program that Lorna might expand upon, which is a little different than the individual development account where the savings are matched.
Home repair.
Okay.
We do have a home repair program. It is also a savings match. It is a 3-to-1 match. 3-to-1 match. The households, the income level for that is 275% of poverty. So I believe for a household of 4, it's like $60,000. They do the same financial education, the same budgeting. But as soon as they have their money in their account, then we will go ahead and match it and get those repairs made. Because oftentimes those are emergency repairs. It's no heat, or it's a leaky roof, or a crumbling foundation. They need to be done right away. This program can also be used for accessibility modifications, a wheelchair ramp, a bathroom remodel, doorways, whatever. Very popular program right now. We've got a lot of people taking advantage of this.
Lorna, how long have you been involved with cash, creating assets, savings, and hope?
Since about 2009. We started it in Hutchinson, and I went full-time with the cash program then.
Is there a website that you have that people can find out more about what you are doing, your mission?
There is. They can go to www.ihs-housing.org. That is the Interfaith Housing website, or they can go to www.cashkansas.org. And either of those will get you to the Creating Asset Savings and Hope program.
It's got to be exciting for you when you first come on board in 2009. How big a difference and what kind of difference is cash making out there?
We have had over 250 households across Kansas that have completed the program. They've purchased first homes. We've had students graduate from college. We have small business owners, and we've made a lot of home repairs. Right now, we have just a little over 250 currently in the program. We suffered a bit of a setback a couple years ago because the legislature changed our tax credits that fund the program. I went to the legislature last year. We got them to switch those back. So we are fully funded between our tax credit donations and a federal grant that matches that. We have over $1 million for the program this year. So we are very excited about the possibility of moving into new communities and getting new households signed up.
Lorna, just telling from the passion that you have in your voice, it must be pretty good to be making a difference like you are out there.
It is. When you get to see families that never, ever dreamed they would be able to have a home of their own, actually save that money and reach that goal and be able to buy their home and move in and have a yard for their kids, it's very rewarding.
Well, it's just easy. Just save some money. It goes a little bit further than that, doesn't it? As we all know.
It's a little harder than just save some money, buy a house. No, but we're there to help them with that. We are their biggest cheerleaders throughout the whole process. We're encouraging them.
In fact, haven't I heard you talk about a home buyers club that is a part of some of this too?
We do have. It's just brand new. We just got it started, the Hutchinson Area Home Buyers Club, and we're working in the surrounding counties. But yeah, it's specifically designed to help those first-time home buyers through the process because it's a little intimidating.
Would that involve, some assistance in knowing how to make repairs or maintain a home, and
right.
Maybe even aside from the financial counseling, there's some things to learn about just what do you do when something
we have life skills classes that we offer to all of our clients. It could be on eating healthy on a budget. It can be on, weatherizing your home for winter, making those simple repairs before they become big problems. Just a lot of different things. We do resume writing and interviewing, insurance, and all of our first-time home buyers go through an extensive first-time home buyer class.
This is on the Focus on Stafford County show, but this is, you were saying, all over the state of Kansas.
It is available anywhere in the state of Kansas.
What questions do you get asked most frequently when somebody contacts you for the first time?
Is this really for real? What's the catch? I hear that. We hear that a lot. There has to be a catch to this. You mean you're going to help me learn to manage my finances, and then you're going to essentially triple my money? Yeah, we get that. But it's for real.
But it does take the big D, the discipline to pull this off.
And some of the things that I've heard you talk about is how some of the things have evolved over time. What used to be maybe more exclusively a class that people would have to find time to come to at a scheduled time is maybe now offered online so that it can be more accessible with people's busy schedules and that kind of thing.
You're absolutely right, Carolyn. People are busy. They don't have time to go and sit through an 8-hour class. They need to have a format that fits their schedules and their time better. So we have gone to online. They log in. They do as much as they can at that time. They log back out. They come back in later and start where they left off. And they really like that. But in addition to that, then they work one-on-one with one of our coordinators. We just feel like we need to make sure that they have the very best information.
Again, how can people get in touch with you, Lorna?
They can call us at 620-662-8370, or they can go to either of our websites, ihs-housing.org or cashkansas.org.
Lorna, thanks for coming up today.
Thank
from
you for having
Hutchinson.
me.
Welcome to the program. And if someone just missed her, they just tuned in, Carolyn, what with as far as the next step for the moving forward now with the grocery store closing next weekend, what can people
Well, I don't know what individuals can do right now. We'll hopefully know a lot more by next week as to whether or not we will have access to the store's fixtures and the store itself, so that again we can try to replace that with some alternative. And then the big thing will be support the local store so that it can continue.
Carolyn, thanks a lot for joining us today. Lorna, thank you. It's very nice to meet you. Thanks for tuning in today to Focus on Stafford County on 1590 KVGB. Have a great day, everyone.